Just check the YouTube description. There is a link to a Google Doc in there. Today's lesson sheet. So we'll be looking. I'd really recommend you grab that because we'll be going through it. And I'll be typing in there as well. So anything you need, or basically anything I say in the lesson, I'm going to try and type in that Google Doc. So I'd really recommend you look at it. Alright, so we're going to be doing kind of two different things today. The first one we're going to be looking at this, I guess it's Year 12 grammar, but it's this when we get the te form and then add this verb shimau. Shimau. Now, shimau in and of itself is a verb, but we'll see that when it gets used with this te form, it takes on a bit of a different meaning. Okay, but shimau as a verb, you still have to know for Year 12. So, for example, shimau kind of means to put away or to close or something like this. So, for example, you'll hear, gyunyu o reizoku ni shimau. Right, so put it into the fridge. Okay, but when we kind of are looking at that meaning, but we'll see it takes on a bit of a different meaning when we get onto our te form. The other thing we'll be looking at is some kanji. Okay, so we'll be looking at kind of what are the kanji that I would say you really need to know, and I'm talking about receptive kanji. Okay, so basically in Year 12 you have a certain amount of kanji which will appear in compounds together, and they're always going to appear in those compounds. So you have to be able to read that word. You don't have to be able to read the individual kanji by itself. So there's a few compounds that you are basically expected to know. So you don't have to be able to write these, although it's good if you can. And I would say, if you really want to learn the kanji, you should try and write it at least a few times. This is the best way that you can write kanji. At least that's the best way you can remember kanji. If you can write it, you're going to be able to remember it. So that's kind of what we're looking at today. Alright, let's get started. So yeah, open up the Google Doc. Go up here. I've got a link to it here and also in the YouTube description. So I do let these lessons online for free, but if you'd like some more personalized lessons, these one-to-one lessons where you can ask me to prepare something specifically for you and I'll run through it with you, give you homework, all these kind of things, you can contact me via this email. Now I don't just do Year 12 lessons, Year 12 level lessons, but as you can appreciate, right now we're kind of getting into June. So a lot of my current students are high school students, and they've just finished up with their semester 1 exams, and they're obviously preparing for their final exams at the end of the year. So a lot of my content from now on is going to be Year 12, but I do teach absolute beginners. Okay, so if you don't know anything about Japanese, I can get you to a Year 12 level and beyond. Okay, I can guarantee it. I can teach you what you need to know. You just have to study. All right, that's the little clause that you have to abide by if you want to get good. I mean, Japanese, you're not just going to get good. It's like guitar or something, okay? You can have the best teacher in the world. If you never practice, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get any good at it. But you don't have to study like hundreds of hours or, 10 hours a day or something. A few hours every day, maybe an hour or two, or a few hours a week, you'll see some improvements. So it's $40 an hour for these online lessons and $70 if it's 2 hours plus. Okay, so basically $30 for every additional hour. And like I said, any aspect of Japanese, so JLPT, alright, that'll be coming up in December this year. High school, university exams, anything, I can help you. I'm actually hoping at some point, when I say JLPT, I really actually should change this and say to N2 level. Because I don't have JLPT N1 yet, so I couldn't possibly tutor that. Although, fingers crossed, I will have it by the end of this year. Well, not the end of this year, but I will take it at the end of this year, and I'll know by like February or so whether I passed or not. But at least up to N2, I can definitely tutor this, including N2, because I passed that way back in 2008. So that's fine now. Alright, so yeah, you can just email me if you wish to know about that. Why did that not change? Sorry. swear I pressed it. Anyway, the Google Doc. Everything I just said you can see in the Google Doc. Good start. Alright. So last week and the week before that we were looking at some NHK Easy articles. These are really good to practice your Japanese. I wouldn't suggest these really to learn Japanese with. These are a little bit advanced, but I would definitely recommend you watch those articles if you're having those videos. Sorry, if you're having issues reading Japanese. Okay, I'll show you how you can read Japanese, what you should look out for, and these kind of things. Okay, but now we're going to do shimao. Okay, so shimao has two main things that it does, and again I'm talking about after the TEF form. I've done a whole video on the TEF form in my Verbs series, and I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to put the link to it. Where would it be? Top right. I don't know. This is the top right, or that's the top right. But anyway, I'll put a link to the thing I've done with the TEF form. Okay, you're going to have to be pretty familiar with the TEF form to deal with a lot of these Year 12 lessons. And we'll see that a lot of Year 12 grammar is kind of based around knowing all these different things that the TEF form does. So it's one of the biggest things you definitely have to know for Year 12. Anyway, we're not really talking about the TEF form today. We are talking about shimao. Okay, so the main reason for we're going to look at this is for this thing. Okay, so it's used to express an action that has taken place, and this is the key word, unintentionally. Okay, often with unsatisfactory results. So I guess the other thing I'll add is that implies a feeling of regret. Okay, something's happened and you didn't really want it to happen. Okay, this is very commonly what this is used for. So we see this can just be used basically just by itself. Okay, so we have A-san and B-san, and A-san says shukudai, and we have it over here in the comment. Shukudai o yatta. So did you do the homework? Okay, very casual. Did you do the homework? And then B-san, shimatta. Okay. Oops. Shimatta. One second. Shimatta. So basically, no, I didn't. Okay. Shimatta. Okay, so this is a very common way, right? And again, this is showing regret. So let's see it in a bit more of a complicated use when we start using our TEF form. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of words we should look at before we look at these sentences. Well, of course, we've got shimao, and it's our u verb, of course. We have sono, abbreviation of sore no. I bet many of you didn't know this. This was mind-blowing when I first learned this out. Sono is an abbreviation of sore no. We have keiki, zenbu. Okay, I was speaking earlier about Year 12 kanji. This is one you really have to be able to read. Zenbu. Alright, we got our bu from bukatsu. And basically, the only reason you have to know this is for this compound. Okay, this is a perfect example of this kanji. It's a receptive kanji. You can read it as subete when it's by itself. But, subete means all. This is another word you'll have to know. But zenbu. Okay, so like all parts. I guess we can think of it. This kanji means part. Taberu, of course. Mainichi, another kanji we have to know every day. Kilo. Alright, so I just want to point out that kilo can mean kilometers or kilograms. Okay, you have to kind of know from the context which one is which. But obviously it's an abbreviation of kilo from English. We have futoru. Alright, to become fat. And we'll see the opposite word is also in here. We have yaseru. Futoru and yaseru. Interestingly, I was looking up, I don't know, maybe this is interesting to me at least, this yaseru kanji. This is like a common word in Japanese, but for some reason the kanji itself isn't part of the JLPT. Very strange. It's not even that complicated and it comes up a lot. Seems weird to me. We have chanto. Okay, so properly. This is a word that comes up a lot in Year 12. Kekkyoku. Maybe not so much a Year 12 word, a little bit advanced, but it could come up. I could see it coming up, but it would be written in hiragana. Kekkyoku, so eventually. Iya. Alright, so a lot of people actually think this word is iyada, but the da is our declarative da, okay? It's not part of the word, but iyada, okay? So this is again one of these phrases that, it's said quite a lot in Japanese, and we don't really have a great equivalent in English, I don't think. But, you know, you'll often get this, you know, if you're asking someone to do something and they don't want to do it, they just go, yada. Like, no, I don't want to do it. Koto, really important word, okay? It's our generic word for event. Suru, okay, exception verb to do. Gomen, right, just a contraction of gomen nasai, just a bit more of a casual one. Matsu, alright, to wait. Kingyo, kingyo, alright, when we look at the kanji, so kanji miru to wakaru to omoimasu kedo, alright, but we have gold or metal, whatever you want to think of this, and sakana, this is fish, okay? But of course we use our onyomi for both of these, right? Because it's a jukugo, right? It's a kanji compound. We're going to use our Chinese pronunciation. So kingyo, kingyo. All right, very short yo. More already, very important word to know for year 12. And chinu, to die. All right, and this is in relation to our goldfish. Okay. Otherwise, yeah, it's not a verb. You'll see all too much. Okay, so now we've got our words out the way, let's look at some of these sentences and work out what's going on. Alright, why are we using shimatta here, or shimao? Alright, and remember it's to talk about something unpleasant or unintentional, right? Something happens and you kind of regret it, you didn't want it to happen. Okay, so where do we go? Sono keiki o zenbu tabete shimatta. Okay, so we see our usage of te form here. So it says, oops, I ate that whole cake, alright? And this oops, this is really what this shimatta is doing here. Okay, oops. It's really expressing oops. Okay, so you know, you're eating some cake, and maybe there's only a few slices left, you're like, oh, I'll just have one. And the next minute, it's all gone. Ah! Keiki o zenbu tabete shimatta. I ate all the cake. Okay, so you could say, keiki o zenbu tabemashita, or zenbu tabeta, and you're just saying I ate all the cake. But when you have tabete shimatta, you're kind of saying, oh, I didn't really mean to, you know, I just kind of kept shoving it in my cake hole, and then it was all gone. Okay, so really it's implying a feeling. Alright, next one. Let's put this next line. Okay, so some more cake stuff. And we'll see a lot actually when we're talking about regret. Weight gain is obviously one of these things that a lot of people regret doing. They don't. A lot of people. Generally, people don't intend to put on weight. So we're going to see these two together a lot. So 毎日ケーキを食べて2キロ太ってしまいました。Okay. So you know しまう. We know our past form rule. The u changes to a little tsu and a ta. Okay, just like our te form. Alright, remember our plain form ta and our te form rule are exactly the same for u verbs. Well, I guess they're the same for ru verbs as well, but anyway, it's the same for u verbs. So, I'll just write this out just so, because I know sometimes I say this stuff and it seems so obvious in my head, but I know actually trying to put this image in your head can be hard. Alright, but we have shimau. Okay, and our rule says, well, that u becomes a little tsu, and then a ta. Okay, and just like I said, it's the same for the te form. Okay, so this would be we can just literally replace the ta and the te, and it's either the ta form or the te form. Okay, just to keep in mind, it's the same rule. Shimatta, shimatte. But we can also make our must form, alright, and a bit of revision, but to be honest, no, I shouldn't say that. Anyway, so shimau, how do we make the must form? Well, whenever we make the must form, we got to make the verb stem first, right? Verb stem, and then we can just add must to that verb stem. And when we have shimau as a verb, how do we make the verb stem of an u verb? Well, we just change that u to an e, okay, e vowel equivalent. So shimai, and then we just add must to our verb stem, because shimai is our verb stem. So shimai must. Alright, how do we make the past form of a must form? Mashita. So shimai mashita, which is what we have here. Shimai mashita. Those are the steps I used to go. Now I don't have to worry about it, but these are the steps you have to go through. You have to go, okay, shimau, okay, u verb, then verb stem, shimai, then add mas, shimaimasu, then change the mas to the past form, shimaimashita. Those are the steps I would go through, and you just get quicker and quicker at doing those steps. Okay. But, 毎日ケーキを食べて, so I ate cake every day, 2キロ太ってしまいました. Now the other thing I just want to point out here is notice how this te form works, okay? This is one of the reasons why you learn te form, okay? Te form allows you to kind of join two sentences together and show a sequence of events, right? So I ate cake every day, and then I got fat, okay? And that's what this te is doing. It's like, and then, you know, showing a passage of time. Really why this te form is so useful. Yeah, we see I unintentionally gained 2 kilograms, right? So if we're going to try and say this in English, often we have to put stuff in brackets because it's an implication, okay? And we don't really do this in English all too often. You can do it, but you're going to have to massage the English a bit sometimes. Okay, next one, what have we got? ちゃんと食べないと痩せてしまいますよ. Okay, so first of all, we got our yo. Alright, so this is a bit of another kind of feeling, alright, but it's kind of telling, the speaker is telling the listener something that the speaker thinks the listener doesn't know. Alright, we can think of yo as you know. So, what are they telling them? Well, ちゃんと食べないと. So, ちゃんと, we saw this in our word list, this means properly. 食べない, alright, don't eat. と, this is our conditional particle. We haven't actually done a lesson on this yet, but I always tell people this sentence when we're trying to learn our conditional to. Alright. Okay. So, 春になると花が咲きます. Alright, so 春, spring, なる, to become. So, to is our kind of natural conditional, okay? It talks about a natural thing. So, when it becomes spring, naturally, the flowers bloom. Okay? Spring brings about the blooming of the flowers. So this is what this conditional to does, right? This is different from the other tos we looked at before. Okay. So, if you don't eat, naturally, and I should say if you don't eat properly, as the translation says here, but if you don't eat properly, naturally, 痩せてしまいますよ. You're going to lose weight, okay? Now, again, if you think about it, it's like, well, some people, I mean, generally, I guess some people don't mind about losing a little bit of weight. But if we're talking about not eating properly and then losing weight, that's probably an undesirable thing. You know, it's not really your intention for that to happen that way. You know, you're busy with work or whatever, so really, again, what this shimaimasu says is that you're going to lose weight and it's not good for you, okay? This result is bad. You don't want this to happen, okay? And then, like I said, we got our yo, which is kind of saying, hey, by the way, did you realize that if you don't eat properly, you will lose weight, and in brackets, and then that's a bad thing, you know? So, yeah, this is what this yo is doing, okay? What this shimao is doing, it's kind of saying, hey, the losing weight is unintentional and you're going to regret it. Okay. Alright, so this is a bit of an advanced sentence. Probably should have taken this one out. We've got some usages of, this is a verb conjugation which is above year 12 level. But anyway, 結局嫌なことをさせてしまった. Okay. So, させて comes from させる, and it's really kind of saying I made someone do something. So, 嫌なこと. So, 結局, so in the end, or try to remember what are we. Yeah, eventually. That's how we translate it in the list. But eventually, 嫌なことを, so a bad thing, させてしまった. Okay. So again, しまった, it's kind of saying, hey, there's a regret thing here. I didn't want to make that person do that thing. It just kind of came about. I wasn't thinking, or blah, 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 whatever reason you want to think up, right? But did something, and I'm not really happy that it ended up this way. Okay. Alright, now this is a really, really, really common one, okay? So first of all, we have ごめん, so sorry. 待たせてしまって. Okay? So normally you can just say matasete or omatase, omatase, and this means I made you wait. Okay, so it's this same type of verb we just saw here. Okay, so this used to happen all the time when I was in Japan. You know, you'd meet up, plan to meet up with someone, and I mean, I lived kind of in this center of the city, so I could get to kind of anywhere pretty quickly because I had a bicycle. So I was always on time. Let's just say I always used to make it, and a lot of the people who would, you know, whatever we decided to meet somewhere, if they were late, they would always say this, right? Ah, matase, matase. Okay, oh matase. Sorry for keeping you waiting. Alright, I made you wait is literally what they're saying, but sorry to keep you waiting. And so we can even make this a little bit more polite and say shimatte. So it's not so much, I mean, you're apologizing for making them wait, but then you're also kind of making an excuse saying, it was unintentional, blah blah blah. So the implication is, hey, something happened that was out of my control, which led to me making you wait. So matasete shimatte. Okay, so again, unintentionally, in brackets. Alright, this last one is a really common one. Okay, Kingyo ga mo shinde shimatta. Okay, Kingyo, our goldfish. Shinde. Alright, this is our, again, bit of TEF form revision, but shinu. Alright, bu, nu, and what's the other one? Mu. Bu, nu, and mu. All of these go to nde. Nde. And we make our TEF form. Okay, so shinde shimatta. Okay, so Kingyo ga mo shinda. My goldfish died already. But Kingyo ga mo shinde shimatta. So, maybe you went away on a holiday and you didn't think you were going to be away for this long. You thought, oh no, it's just 2 days. The goldfish will survive. Oops, didn't quite make it. Okay, so this is a really common usage of shinde. Shimao. Alright, we often see it with die. Shinde shimatta. Like it died unintentionally. Okay, otherwise you're kind of talking about killing stuff, which is not so nice. Alright. Let me just check. Okay. Alright. Okay, so that's the first meaning of shimao when we use it with our TEF form. Okay, it's expressing some kind of regret. Now, the second meaning of shimao, and it's not as common as the first one, but it's just kind of saying you finish something completely. Okay, I should have really come up with some more sentences here, but you get the general idea. So we got shukudai o yatte shimai nasai. Alright, don't worry about this mai nasai. This is kind of the imperative or order form. Alright, it's often when a teacher is talking to a student, not really year 12, but it's basically saying, do it. But yatte shimai. Okay, yatte shimai. So yaru or yatte is to do something. Yatte shimai, like do it completely, finish it. Don't just start and stop. Once you've started, do it right to the end. Okay. So that's our shimao. Alright. So this is like a perfect example of what year 12 is going to have in store for you. Okay. Year 12 is not about teaching you massive chunks of material and all these. There's a lot of new words, but as far as grammar goes, year 12 is very similar to year 11. The big difference they're going to do is they're just going to test you a bit deeper with everything that you learnt in year 11. And then we've just got little bits like shimao and all these other things that I've done in other videos, where they're just little bits and pieces which express certain feelings about certain situations. So you have to be, it's not good enough to really just be aware of all this grammar. You have to know, why does this get used here? What is this implying? Okay, Japanese is all about implications. So you really have to look at this quite carefully when you're thinking about how to do well in year 12. Okay, so let's move on to some kanji. Let's move on to some kanji. Just gonna make a quick note to myself. Oops. Right. Let's look at some kanji. Alright. Let's see how this goes. Alright, this will do. Now, this is a list of kanji. I didn't make this. I found this, I think, when I was just looking for some exam materials. I came across this. Now, one issue with, I often get asked this question, like, hey, can you give me a word list for year 12? Can you give me a kanji list for year 12? Um, this is the same with the JLPT to an extent, but there's the problem is that just think of it from the examiner's point of view, okay? If they start giving out a list and saying, hey, this is what you need to know from the exam, that kind of limits the examiners to just test you from stuff on that list. So it's not really authentic Japanese, I guess, in that sense. I mean, I get it, it's an exam and all that stuff anyway, but if you're not really dealing dynamically with Japanese, if you just go, okay, well, this is going to appear in the exam, I just have to memorize it, and then I'll be fine, what they want to, what my impression is that they want you to learn Japanese through kind of authentic materials, right? Try and read things that you find on the internet, read through your textbooks, listen to Japanese music, all these things, and pick up words that way, and just kind of stay at that level. I think once they start releasing lists, it kind of makes you just study the lists, and it's not really authentic Japanese. I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't actually know the logic behind it all. Having said that, I did find this list from, I believe it was Queensland, like the Queensland Curriculum Council or whatever, produced this. Now, this is not saying these are all the kanji you'll ever need to know. There's still a bit more, but definitely learning all this list, all the kanji on this list, is a very, very good start. So I'm not going to go through all these because some of these are quite easy, but it's good to know what some of them are. Alright, first off, 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, here we go. These are probably the two first ones that we should look at. Alright, so this first one, we have hito. Hito. Okay, hito. And then we have, this is hairu or ireru. Alright, hairu or ireru. I think it's a good way to do this. Let's do this. Actually, I might just do it like this. Okay, we can skip a lot of this stuff out. Alright, I'm just going to be pasting this from Jim Breen's Japanese dictionary. These are the kanji entries. I was actually having to do this before the lesson, but didn't get around to it. Okay, so we got quite a few readings for this kanji. Just put it back. Alright. Okay. Okay, but I'm just kind of showing this is what I would do, alright? If I was trying to learn all these kanji, this is the process I would go through. So this is what I've done for every kanji I've ever learned, by the way, and Japanese people do this as well, to an extent. They obviously don't look it up in the English language dictionary, but they look it up in a Japanese dictionary. Same thing. Okay, so this is what you do. You look it up on Jim Breen's dictionary, just type it in. I should actually show you how I do this. Let me just show this screen. One second. Alright, so this is Jim Breen's website. I don't even know if he does anything with this anymore. I think he's long since retired, to be honest. Well, I know he's retired. I don't even know what he does. I don't think he has much to do with this website anymore. He did though. Alright, so yeah, I just normally just type in JDIC, JDIC, and this is the first result. Alright, and we go to word search home, okay, at the top here. Word search home. Alright, and we just paste out, alright, well, I mean, I know how to write it, but you could just paste it. Alright. Now, so we search for it, and you see you've got all these results, alright? All these results. Now on the left here, we've got these radio buttons, okay? The top one is normally ticked, alright? So just tick it again.
Jing.
Yeah, you can make it say stuff, but anyway. Tick this, and then down the bottom here we see it says, examine the kanji in a selected compound. Alright, examine the kanji in a selected compound. So we click this button, and then it actually takes us to the dictionary entry for that kanji, okay? And we see, don't worry about all this stuff, this is just how dictionaries organize it. This is good to know, this one here, this is number of strokes. I mean, it's good to know, but you're not going to get examined on this, for example, in year 12. JLPT, even, they're not going to do this. The only time you actually have to know this is for, well, mainly just so you can write kanji properly. You need to know the stroke order. But when is that actually going to get tested? Well, first of all, Japanese people test you on this all the time when they look over your shoulder when you're writing kanji, and like, you didn't write that right. But it'll be in the kanken, okay, the kanji kente. So this is an exam for Japanese people. I've not passed it. There's like 10 levels. I've tried it twice and failed twice. But very tricky exam, and this is the only time you really actually get tested on this knowledge. So, but it is good to know. Okay, but what we care about are these kind of last, I guess, these 4 categories. Okay, and this is what I pasted in the Google Doc. Okay, so we have our on yomi and our kun yomi, right? Our Chinese pronunciation and our Japanese reading. Alright, and these are what we want to know. Now, you don't have to know all of these every time, so I'm going to tell you which ones you should know and which ones you don't have to worry about. Now, as far as this hito kanji goes, you need to know jin and nin, alright? But you actually already know these. So if you think, how do you say where someone is from? France jin, you know, America jin, Australia jin. Nin we use when we count people, okay? So, you know, we've got some exceptions, but hitori, futari. Let me just go back to my nicer sized one. Oh no, did I mess it up? What? Oh, my lovely resized window is gone now. Sorry, one sec. There we go. one's my picture. Guess we'll just use this one. Alright. So, jinnin. Alright, so hitori, futari, sannin. So, sannin, yonin, gonin, rokunin. Going up. So this is when we have to use nin. Kunyomi, okay, we know it as hito, okay, so person. Also we see hitori, alright, but don't worry about that, I just talked about that with our counting one. Hitori. Alright, next kanji. And it's one above it though, but we've got hairu. Hairu. Alright, so we see we've got new and ju. Don't worry about this ju. New is a good one. Alright, so I've seen up on exams we have words like this. Okay, we read this as nyujo ryo. Okay, don't worry about the reading so much, but nyujo ryo is an entrance fee. Okay, so enter into the place charge. Nyujo ryo. Now, of the kunyomis, which one do we have to know? Well, we need to know these two. Okay, I'll just highlight them so we're sure. Ireru and hairu. These are the only two we have to know. Okay. Ireru, put something in somewhere. Hairu, to go into. Okay, so we can say, キャベツを袋の中に入れる. Put the cabbage inside the bag. And 入る, we say お風呂に入る. お風呂に入る. To take a bath. Alright, so these are basically the three readings you have to know for this kanji. Okay, what's our next one? Alright, well we have sun. Okay, I'm sorry about this. Do. This is basically, you just have to know this for doyobi, for Saturday. I can't really imagine this coming up in any other way. Doyobi. Ue. Okay, ue. You have to know this kanji to mean ue, and I think a lot of you will, but it's worth learning the other reading for this as well. Ue. And there's heaps. We don't have to know all of them though. Heaps of reading for this guy. Let me just put this on the next page. Okay, heaps reading for this guy. We see ue. Alright, what do we have to know? Well, jaw, basically. This is the reading I was alluding to. Otherwise, ageru, we have to know. And agaru. Where's ue? Oh, there. Okay, ue. But I think most of you should know ue by now. Alright, so ageru and agaru, these are our transitive and intransitive verbs. Ageru, to raise, to lift something. Agaru, to raise. Okay, so when we talk about, the numbers are going up, we say agaru. When we say, nimotsu wo ageta, I lifted the luggage up. And ue, of course, above. Now, jaw, we see in a few words that you're kind of expected to know. Whoops. Ijo, which is like, there's a few meanings of this word, but first of all, you can say at the end of YouTube videos, you'll see Japanese people will say, ijo desu. Just like, that's it, I'm done, I don't have anything else to say. I used to hear this a lot at the, kaikai shiki, shikyo shiki in school, the opening and closing ceremonies. Someone would say a speech, and the speech, ijo desu, and they walk off the podium. But we can have stuff like kaijo, alright? So we can say, kaijo. Okay, so it's like a water taxi, you know, on top of the ocean. So jaw. This is um, we have tenjaw. That's a different jaw, of course. Yeah. But anyway, ijo, kaijo. These are the two really common ones we're gonna need. All right, next one. Okay, we have shita. Okay, most of this is useless. Blah 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 blah. Alright, so which ones we have to know? Well, both ka and ge are good to know, but I would say, oops, that ka is better than ge. Shita, we have to know sageru, sagaru. Some of you might be interested to know that, like, kudasaru, this is what kudasai, this word kudasai comes from, but, yeah, kudasaru. Also, it's, kureru. You might have come across this as well. But anyway, these are the main ones. Okay, so again, ika is very similar to ijo, but iko is like below something. So ika ni arimasu. Kaite arimasu. And then sageru, sagaru. These are our kind of the opposites of ageru, agaru. Okay, sageru, I lowered something or I put something down. Sagaru, like the numbers go down. Okay, so this is a really common part of Japanese in year 12. They talk about trends, right? You know, fuete iku. Alright, this word fueru to increase, heru to decrease. Fuete iku, hette iku, hette kuru, fuete kuru. Okay, so these ones are going to come up a lot, and we're going to use sageru and sagaru as well to describe these things. Okay, next one. This one, oki. I think most of you should be pretty familiar with this. We have oki, and then the other word to remember for this is daigaku. Alright, university. I'm trying to think, but these are pretty much the only two ones. One that might cause you some issues. Alright, this kanji here, and we read this as oame. Alright, so this is like a torrential downpour, right? Like basically this period in Japan right now, right, is rokugatsu, and this is what we call tsuyu. Tsuyu. Okay, this is the rainy monsoon season in Japan, right? And then, you know, oame. This is another word that's going to come up with this. Big rain, right? Oame. But normally daigaku. Actually, we can also read. This is tai. All right, so we have tai setsu. This word's like daiji. All right, lots of useful words with this kanji. Oops. Daiji. Chisai. Okay. Chisai. Actually, I think this is worth looking up. Did I not show that just then? Damn. I'm gonna get a second monitor soon, guys. The big problem I have at the moment is I can't see my broadcasting software and my screen because I've only got one screen. I'm getting it. Don't worry. It's coming today or tomorrow, I think actually. Probably tomorrow because I haven't got a text message about it yet. But anyway, I'll be getting it, and then it'll be actually no, I'm not getting a second monitor tomorrow, but I'm getting a stand so I can put a second monitor up, and then I'll be able to tell a lot easier what you guys can see and what, because I sometimes get confused. I get it confused easily. Let's put it that way. So enough about me though. Oh jeez. All right. So this one again, a lot of you are going to know it, chisai, but maybe you're going to forget the other reading of this kanji. Alright. Okay, so what are the readings we're going to have to know? Well, sure. This is the one a lot of people forget. And notice as well, the way we write chisai is we have this first I inside, and then the sa and I are outside. Okay, it's a bit of a strange one. Oh, there you go. I just got a message saying my thing's been delivered. What weird timing. Anyway, chisai. I mean, these are ko and o are good to know, but it's really only for names. So like Ogawa-san, for example. But yeah, don't worry about any of these. Okay, so obviously chisai, I mean, a lot of you are going to know this one, like I said. But the one, you know, the easy word I think to remember for sure is shogakko. Okay, so primary school, shogakko. Alright, next one is kuchi. Ah, this is a really good one. I think I'm not going to bother bringing up that paint thing anymore. It's just confusing me. Okay, so when we think about kanji, you've really got to think about radicals, okay? Radicals are what is the secret to unlocking kanji, alright? Because you're going to get to a point, if you're not already at this point, where you're going to be like, how do I tell the difference between certain kanji, okay? Trust me, it's a big issue. And again, if you haven't been to Japan or you haven't talked to Japanese people about how they do this, it might seem as that you might just go like, what, are these Japanese people just super smart? How can they remember so many things? And it's not just because it's their native language, trust me. They have a system to remember kanji, and it's based very heavily on radicals, okay? Because the radicals mean something, alright? So, it's like if you have radicals which are kind of inconsistent with the meaning of that kanji it's in, it's not going to make sense. And this, again, it might seem very abstract, but when you're writing kanji, I think all the time I go, wait a minute, is this radical, okay? Alright, so this is a really good one. Now, first of all, if you're going to know one thing, I've done a video on this before, but we've got to learn all our body parts, generic body parts. Obviously not organs, okay? Organs don't count, but things like ude, te, yubi, and if you can remember all the fingers, this is good. Oya yubi, hitosashi yubi, naka yubi, kusuri yubi, ko yubi. Alright, there we go. There's a usage of our chisai kanji, right? Chisai yubi, ko yubi. Alright, this is one we just saw. But anyway, you want to learn, you know, me, mayuge, matsuge, hoppe, you know, kuchi, kao, atama. We want to learn all these words as much as possible. Kuchi is one which is going to come up a lot. Alright, so kuchi. Definitely one. We want this. Now, obviously, you know, we're trying to learn the onyomis and as well. Core. I'm trying to think if this is really a good onyomi to learn. I don't think it's going to come up too much. I've been through it in a few. Sometimes I come across it, but I'm not really sure this is a very common Year 12 reading. Okay, but kuchi for sure. Now we'll see that this appears in lots of kanji. Okay, lots of other kanji, I should say. So for an example, okay, shaberu. So this is like to chat or to speak. We have kuchi on the left hand side here. You know, all these other ones like iu, to say. We see kuchi is on the bottom here. You know, nihongo. The go from nihongo again has two kuchis on the bottom. Okay, so we see things that are to do with speaking, the mouth, you know. Yeah, seki as well. But anyway, lots of kanji have the kuchi on them, so that it's very good to know. Alright, next is ko. Alright, this is a good one to know. Alright, so this kanji basically means child. Alright, it also kind of means small, so we see it in particle and things like this. But now, you don't really have to know these onyomi for now. I would say not a priority. The main, when this kanji comes up for you, it's just going to be read as ko. Okay, don't worry about the sign of the rat thing as well. It's definitely not going to come up. Just think of it as meaning child, alright? Kodomo. Alright. Actually, I take that back. We do need to know she. For words like this. Okay, this could definitely come up. Okay, so danshi and joshi. Alright, so it's like boys and girls, okay? Otoko no hito, man. Danshi, boy. Okay? Keep these two things separate in your head. Danshi and joshi. Okay. Next, onna. Alright, this is a kanji you really have to know. Onna and otoko. Ooh, I have to make this last one, I think. Probably should go a bit longer, seeing as I had some technical issues. Might just do the end of this line. How many more have we got? 5 more. Yeah, we'll get through it. I'll go a bit over. Alright. Okay, so we have quite a few readings here. I would just worry about this one, jo. Okay, and we just saw this one up here, joshi. Alright, otherwise onna. Okay, obviously the main reading for this kanji. Alright, woman or female. Don't really need any of these ever. Onna. Okay, so we'll see it for example in onna no hito. Onna no hito. Alright, so it's a woman. Okay, onna no hito. Alright, and we're going to hear this in our dialogues all the time, alright? When we introduce our speakers, we go, Otoko no hito to onna no hito ga shabette imasu. Ga hanashite imasu. Right? A man and a woman are talking. So, onna. Okay, you might also hear words like this. I mean, it's pretty similar to what I just wrote. Right, joshi kousei. Right, so a female high school student, and then danshi kousei. Okay, but that's onna. Alright, and one thing I want to point out, I might just I might just switch to this thing. Alright, so when we write onna, okay, and by the way, I'll show you in a sec, but when we write onna, just think of kunoichi, okay? So, ku, our hiragana ku, no, katakana no, ichi. Alright, I didn't quite do that right, but it's paint. Please forgive me. It's very hard to draw the way I want it to. Let's just take it as that. Probably should just use lines. Even then. Yeah, that'll do. Alright, just use the word processor or whatever to look at it. Like, use this as an example. Alright, this is much nicer than mine. Actually, I just noticed that they're kind of going a bit over. Yeah, it looks a bit better. Alright, kunoichi. Okay, ichi is the kanji, by the way. Kunoichi. Alright, this is the proper stroke order. It doesn't matter where this kanji appears. If it's a radical or not, you always write it like this. Also, by the way, a kunoichi. This is a female ninja. Okay, so if you go to this great place in Japan called Iga Ueno, they've got a ninja hakubutsukan, alright, a ninja museum. And the kunoichi, so women dress up in this pink, I forget what it's called. The pink ninja uniform, basically, like the kind of like a onesie kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, actually, I should show you a picture. Kunoichi. Sorry, no results. What? Okay, well, take my word for it. They're very cool. It's the pink, right? And Iga Ueno, anyway. but kunoichi. Alright, so this is how we draw woman. So yeah, on the website that I was just showing you, not that website, this one. You can click on here, and it'll animate it for you. Okay, we can do this as well. This is not the best website to see Japanese animations. I normally look up on a different website, but this will do. Okay. What are our last ones? Yama, I think the next one was. Yes. Yama. Okay, so again, I think a lot of you are probably very aware that this is Yama, okay? It's not so much the Yama we need to know this for. Well, sorry, that I'm teaching you here. Yama is definitely how you want to read this most of the time, especially in surnames. But it's more the onyomi I want to teach you here. So it's san. One of them is anyway. Don't worry about sen. Okay, and of course Yama. Alright, now we see, for example, this is one that you're kind of expected to read. Fuji-san, okay? Now just remember, san in this instance is not like the honorific suffix that we put on people's names, okay? San here is the kanji for mountain, okay? Fuji-san. It's just a total coincidence that it's the same word as the honorific prefix. Alright, mountain, Fuji-san. What do we got next? Kawa. Okay, this is a good one. There are several readings for this, but if we just remember Kawa, this will be fine. Okay, don't worry about the sen at all. Just Kawa. Kawa will get you by. Okay, just means river. Yeah, and we see it's also with three-stroke radicals, so there are lots of kanji which have this in there, and it means water, but it means river. Sorry, but let's not worry about that for now. We'll get by with Kawa. Okay, sen is our next one. Alright, we need to know this one. We're going to count, okay? By the way, I've done a video on counting. I would really recommend you watch it if you're doing Year 12 this year, because counting is a bit where a lot of people are going to fall. Okay, now we have a kunyomi here. This is kind of one of the rare situations where I wouldn't really recommend you learn the kunyomi for this. You're really only going to be asked to ever read this as an onyomi. By the way, you'll see this chi gets used in names, okay? So chika, this is a very common girl's name, for example. Well, not very common, but a common girl's name that you'll see. But yeah, normally used for names, I would say. But sen, alright? So this word means 1,000. Okay, so we could say, for example, 1000 yen satsu. Alright. Okay, this is a 1,000 yen note. 1000 yen satsu. Alright, what else we got? Sai. Alright. Okay. So this is for our age. Oops, wrong sai. Oops. Quite a few kanji read as sai, I'm guessing. Alright, now there's some weird readings for this. I just don't even worry about them. Or the meanings, I guess I should say. You just have to remember this is a counter, alright? It's counting age. You know, so 31 sai desu. 31 sai desu. Alright, 31 years old. So yeah, you just have to know this. Don't worry about all this genius and stuff. This is for words like... actually, I should take that back. I think it's worth learning this word tensei. Okay, this means genius. But otherwise, it's our years old thing that we're learning this for, okay? Sai. Okay. But tensei, definitely a word that could come up in Year 12 exams. Tensei. What else we got? Last one. Okay. This is man. Another number. Okay, another number. Alright, we just have to remember man. Alright, we see it's 10,000. Okay, so just like we had here, we can have... Notice this time it's ichiman. Alright, we don't say ichisen ensatsu. Alright, that's weird. Ichiman ensatsu. Okay, so 10,000 yen note. Alright, it's the actual note, by the way. You know, ichiman yen, 10,000 yen. Ichiman yen satsu, 10,000 yen note. Alright, this is probably the most common time you're going to hear about it. But you know, we can also count, okay? And just be careful when we count with this, alright? For example, if we say juman, alright, it's just I just use multiplication, right? So it's 10 times 10,000. So this is 100,000. Alright, 100,000, juman. Okay, just be careful of this. Hyakuman, a million, senman, after that it's oku, I guess. But yeah, so just keep in mind that juman, hyakuman, it's use multiplication to work out the actual number. It's 10 times 10,000. And trust me, getting used to counting in 10,000s, it takes a bit of practice. Alright, takes a bit of practice to get used to. But man. Now, be careful you don't confuse this kanji. Okay? Kata, we can read this as. Or a lot of you will read it as hall. Alright, both of these readings are fine. But notice, alright, this one, we've got a little knob on the top, okay? A little bit sticking out. This bit is flat on top. Otherwise, they are identical, but there's a, you know, these are two different kanji. Okay? Alright, so just keep in mind. This is also a year 12 kanji. I believe it's on this list. It'll just be one extra stroke, right? Yeah. So it's under 4 strokes. Let me just swap. We see it's here. Here. Alright. Alright, I think we'll leave it there. So we're up to the end of, so start from 4th stroke. Okay, so we're going to continue doing all this kanji all the way right to the end of this list. Alright, and obviously they're going to get trickier from here on out. These ones are the introductory ones, are a bit easier. Okay, I think that about wraps it up for today. So we did our shite, shimao, and shimatta, these kind of things, and also we're looking at our year 12 kanji. Tune in next week, same time, 10 a.m. Western Standard Time, where I'll be going through the rest of these kanji. I'm not sure what else I'll be doing. Probably, maybe dake and shika. I probably should do a lesson on that at some point. But anyway, actually I might have already done one on that. Anyway, I'll check. I'm not very good at making decisions on the fly. But yeah, check back next week. We'll continue on with this kanji. And thanks so much for watching. Please leave a comment if you liked the video. If there's anything you'd like me to talk about in particular, any grammar. I mean, trust me, there are no stupid questions. Okay, the grammar can be tricky to get, and I'd be happy to explain any kind of part of Japanese grammar, which you know, at least if it's useful. If it's kind of JLPT like N2, N1 style grammar, I can do it, but it's not really what I want to focus on for now. I'd probably recommend, if you really are having issues with JLPT, send me an email. It's at the top of this Google Doc, and I can do something a bit more tailored for you. This is more of a general Year 12 video. Okay, please leave a like, please subscribe. I don't know if you know this, but if you log in with your YouTube account and subscribe to my channel, I try and go live about 20 minutes before the lesson starts, so you'll get a notification to remind you that I've started broadcasting, and then you can join into the stream and catch it live, and then you can interact in the chat, ask me some things. But please just leave a like or a comment. It really does help me out quite a lot. You know, you get free YouTube accounts if you have a, you know, you can sign up for a free YouTube account. But also, if you've got like a Google account, you kind of automatically already have a YouTube account, so you can just log in with Gmail. And I'd really appreciate any support you guys could do to help the channel. I really am trying to, you know, make this available to as many people as possible. I've had so many good experiences through learning Japanese. I feel like it really opened my eyes to a lot of things, and I'm trying to kind of spread this knowledge to other people. Okay, I had a lot of people help me out, devote a lot of time to volunteer to help me learn Japanese. So I'm trying to give that back. So if you know anyone who's interested in learning a language, you know, anyone who goes to Japan regularly even, I think they could really benefit from my lessons. I've taught lots of people like that who kind of go yearly to Japan and want to learn a few phrases and things, but I'm going to do a lot more than that, alright? Learning phrases I think is a terrible way to learn any language. Um, and especially Japanese, when the grammar kind of, if to me at least, it just makes so much sense, and it's so modular that you can learn very little Japanese, but at least you'll be able to start having some kind of basic conversations very quickly if you run through my program. I mean, really, with about 5 or 6 hours of one-on-one lessons, I can get you to a pretty capable level of Japanese. You know, at least technically, you'll be able to understand things. The problem is you have to learn lots of words as well, right, to kind of deal with things. But anyway, that's enough from me. Please subscribe and like. Leave a comment if you would, and I will see you guys next week. So please enjoy your week. I actually really like starting my weeks like this. I get pumped up for these. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I'll see you guys next time.